feels and looks premium.
It's just stunning.
Kilometers an hour to 65. Wow.
Fantastic.
Excellent job.
Oh yeah.
Still impressed.
Thumbs up.
You're gonna love it. Yeah.
It's very impressive.
I just spotted a little Swedish flag. Oh, that's nice.
Especially in this mulberry colour. You like it now. There is the vapor grey, and so these are the shortcut bits at the top. It's
The S6 and 7 that were tested, for example, the assistant sound, which I also find very cool.
And the cluster, especially.
The camera doesn't look amazing, so if you have a look at the different sort of views that you've got there.
EX90 is a phone as key, digital key. We have a key card as well. And when I walk up to it with my phone on me, those doors unlock automatically.
And it really does cement this vehicle as luxury premium before anything else. Normally when one buys a premium or a luxury...
So you also have the ability to use your phone as a key to unlock and lock the EX90. You just come in this app, we press unlock, you see how the door unlocked. You can relock it by pressing here. You can also have it set to automatically lock and unlock when you approach and leave the car.
But I can also do it with a near-field communication card, which I hold up to the door handle here. Then we see the handles retracting and extending.
These split Thoris hammer lights actually open up, revealing the full LED headlights inside, and then the turn signals, they're a little bit lower down on the bumper. Like we find in the C40 and the XC40 recharge.
Light things like inside from that indicator appears indeed.
But if I put it in reverse, then it shows the dynamic lines.
Got up here, here, this one, for example, changes digital instruments. I mean, the feature discovery for this. That is a cool function here. See these buttons here, and these you can do from the front or from here. Press and hold again.
And then over here we have track forward, backward, volume up, down, voice command button. And you notice these are touch sensitive buttons. So as you touch around them, you'll actually see a visual indication on the instrument cluster what's going to happen when you continue pressing that button. There are some additional icons that could indicate future features, like the automatic steering button. That's the one I'm intrigued by because this should have the next generation of Volvo autonomous features baked into the hardware, but we don't see that software available just yet. Now down here, important buttons to know, we have one pedal driving. You can have it on, you can have it off, or you can have it in auto. In the auto mode, it is going to use the radar sensor in the vehicle to actually adapt the one pedal driving to your particular driving situations.
So first of all, we don't have this in the bench. We have these little cup holders that pop right out here. So this was a nice little spot where I was able to just toss my phone just like that. But it's more than just a place to toss your phone because it also is a cup holder. How clever is that?
Well done. Oh, there's a charge port as well. And you have a USB-C port.
There is also a convenient way to adjust the height of the vehicle for better comfort.
I was actually really surprised at how quickly this vehicle drops, so I want to show you from a different, wider angle. So again, once you push this little button here to lower the suspension, I've never seen a rear air suspension that lowers quite as quickly as this. I think
So adjusting the front seat is really quite intuitive. There's a button on the side, you press it once, and it gives you access to your typical tilt and forward and backwards adjustments. If you press it a second time, it's going to let you adjust the tilt and lumbar support. Press it a third time and you can adjust the side bolstering with a single control.
Make sure if someone does have to get to their mountain house very quickly, the car's not going to do anything unusual. It's not going to scare them. The tuning is right. It's fast too.
Yep.
It boogies pretty damn well. Maybe we can zoom in on this and you can see how many cars it's showing. It's not even using LiDAR at the moment. My driver's seat feels like it's moving. Oh. And that I talked to my friend Chad. Chad also said it felt like his seat was moving. Yeah, it feels like that's weird. And it's not, it's just moving like a tunk, a tunk.
Yeah.
Okay, very unusual. Oh yeah, dude, do you hear it? It's almost like the side bolster is giving away, maybe. Very, very
That'd be
unusual.
really interesting, yeah.
And nice and so snappy. That's what I'm gonna have to give them credit for. A lot of people have given Volvo, including us, some crap for the software stuff.
Yeah.
Like thinking, okay, maybe it's not fully baked. Dude, this feels really good.
The vehicle, and it's really quick and snappy and responsive. I also love how it matches.
To make a lane change, all I do is go past the detent on the turn signal. So I'll lift all the way up and we'll see if it does it. It says lane change maneuvers canceled. That's because a car came into our blind spot. They lane changed over. So that would seem pretty natural.
Yeah. So instead of waiting for that, though, it just canceled itself.
It just canceled. It's not like waiting.
Because some cars would wait and then go.
So let's try it now that no one's in our blind spot. Nope, keeps hands on steering wheel. It is. That's another issue. It's a capacitive steering wheel, but there are some dead zones where it doesn't seem to recognize your hands.
Yeah.
And that's not uncommon in the auto industry, but I would say definitely present here. Let's try it now. I have two hands on the wheel lightly. It said, oh, canceled. We noticed the same thing in Polestar 3, didn't we?
Yeah.
So lane change to the left now. Oh, it's doing it. It's doing it. It's doing it. Through a turn.
That's good.
It's a little bit slow, and
Yeah.
and we're in there. You know who does the best lane changes? BMW.
Oh, yeah.
BMW is just like, boom, takes
Yep.
the lane.
Assertive.
Assertive, done, perfect lane centering every time.
Now, if I put my hand on here, it's almost too hot to touch. So all that heat is coming into the cabin.
Probably when you're living in a hot state, I would get this additional cover that you put on from the lower part.
A big glass roof without a shade. I would love to see the option of a steel roof. Maybe that will come in the future, or an electric shade or some sort of electrochromatic dimming to this glass because it is kind of bright in the sun. Yell out, Travis, what do you think? Are you baking in the sun back there?
I am baking in the sun back here.
Honestly, to change these settings, to go deep in these menu while driving, not to be recommended at all.
But apart from that, everything's in the screen, which makes it super difficult to get used to. Luckily, they've put all the usual controls that you might need quick access to along the bottom, so things like your climate control and your heated seats, for example. But finding common features that are really easily accessible on a normal car. Let's say, for example, I'm driving along, it's quite foggy, and I realize I need to have my rear fog lights on. What you got to do is watch the road, watch the screen, press the car icon. I'm going around a bend, so it's a bit tricky. Watch the road, watch the screen, find the lights icon, press that, watch the road, watch the screen. There's a car coming, I'll wait for that, go around the corner, watch the screen again, find the rear fog light icon, press that, and then the lights are on, but then you've had an accident because it's foggy and you spent half your time looking at a bloody display. Give us physical buttons, please.
Volvo, after all, prides itself on its safety reputation, but everything in this car is in this screen, which means you've got to jab at buttons and look away from the road. And I do mean everything. If you want to adjust the steering wheel, it's in the screen. The side mirrors, it's in the screen. Everything is in the screen. And it's just a little bit of a distraction.
Is the window switches in this car.
I suppose that's something that you would get used to over time, but it's not exactly my preference. And in case you're wondering, pressing and holding on the button.
And I'm not in love with these signal stalks because it does that weird thing where you press it up all the way, but it comes right back down to the middle. If I press it up all the way, I want you to stay up all the way.
In your car. Off you go. Apparently, the car has an internal radar sensor that can scan the vehicle for occupants if you're absent-minded enough to leave anyone or anything living left inside. It theoretically works on pets as well as humans, scans the cabin as well as the boot, but how effective is it really? Right, let's see if the door shuts. I'll use the key card and I'll actually put it on the door handle. Yep, and as you can see, it's actually refusing to shut. And there's a message on the screen that says presence detected inside the car. That is a really useful feature, especially on a hot day like this, and particularly if you love your animals like me. And there are some problems. For example, on this center console, again, we've got this birch material, which does look good from a distance, but then you start to poke around and then you realize it's actually not really very solid. It actually looks like a really thin, almost like a sticker placed on top of cheap feeling plastic. It might be recycled plastic, I hope it is, But yeah, if you go sniffing around, you start to see where things don't really look quite as premium as they might seem from a distance. There is one thing that annoys me greatly about this car, and that is the steering. Okay, so when it's switched off, we've got no power steering, obviously. It's really stiff. But when you put the car into drive, you expect it to fire up really quickly and give you power steering immediately, but it doesn't do that. Watch this. Put it into gear, it's stiff, 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 and then 3 seconds later, it gets loose. If you're in a hurry, this will just annoy you every single time you get in the car. One of the coolest things, potentially, is that big bulbous LiDAR box on the roof. Apparently, it's going to be able to scan the road ahead, even for small objects and even at motorway speeds, to alert you that you might be about to collide with an object. Now, obviously, we've still got our mate Lewis, the dog, goat, whatever. So I feel like it's in our best interests to see whether that LiDAR thing actually works. Don't worry, it's not littering. It's science. Good luck, mate. Oh, awkward. It's not bad, and it goes quickly between reverse and forward. Anyway, here we go. Will the LiDAR do its job? No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
Okay, so everything was going really smoothly, and you know how I was talking about how everything was working really well and how great it is. Screen's turned off! It's off. No idea what's happened. It's just completely turned itself off. Luckily, the maps are on this screen here, just behind the steering wheel. So I still know where I'm going, but completely off.